Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So today we're going to cover chapter 4 questions, that is quadratic equation questions of maths sample paper, which is mentioned in our CBSE main website. So before going to just give a small recap. So in the previous video and the recording, in the video section you'll find this video where I have covered the questions related to real numbers chapter, which is chapter 1. Okay, so they have covered first MCQ, which is of real numbers, and then 10th it is another MCQ, 19th. So total 3 MCQs have been present from chapter 1, and then for 3 marks question we have one workshop question which is related to HCF kind of question. So that's related to chapter 1. And in chapter 2 and 3 we have covered in yesterday live session around 10 p.m. So that I also uploaded. So mostly you will find that this video in the live section by today evening. Okay. So chapter 2 is polynomials and chapter 3 is pair of linear equations in two variables. So those I have covered in detail. Also along with not only the question solutions, along also the concept behind it also I have covered. Okay. So now in this video I'm going to cover chapter 4 related questions, which is quadratic equations. Okay, so in yesterday I have missed one question. Question number 3, it also belongs to chapter 3, which is pair of linear equations to variables. So first we'll cover this question and then we'll cover the questions related to the 4th chapter. Okay, so let's see this answer. What is the question? If the lines are not parallel, then k has to be. Okay, so for this I will first explain the concept behind it. Suppose we have two linear equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0, and the second linear equation a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0, where a1 a2 are the coefficients of x, b1 b2 are the coefficients of y, and c1 c2 are the constants. Okay, so why it is pair of linear equations and why it is called two variable I have explained in yesterday's live video. You can check this video, and then if you have any doubts you can directly post in the community section of this of my channel, where I have enabled the button, so anyone who will have any doubts can directly post their photo, the photo of the question along, or else you can written format I will mention it, and you can just mention to check it. I will definitely see and answer to it. Okay, and as I mentioned, it is only for the subscribers. So if you have a doubts, kindly subscribe to the channel and then write your question in the post section. I will definitely check and answer to it. Okay, so let's see this question. So we have three conditions. Either lines can be intersecting, or can be parallel, or can be coincident. Coincidences on the same line. For intersecting, a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2. Okay, for parallel lines, a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2, but should not be equal to c1 by c2. Whereas for coincident, then it will be exactly same, that is a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is equal to c1 by c2. So these three conditions you have to remember for parallel, intersecting and coincident lines. Okay, and repeating again, for intersecting, a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2. For parallel, a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. Whereas for coincident, a1 by a2 should be equal to b1 by b2 should be equal to c1 by c2. Okay, so for this question what they are asking, not parallel. Not parallel in sense we should check for intersecting condition. Okay, because coincident lines also we can also say it as parallel lines because it is also same on the same line. Okay, not parallel in sense simple, it should be intersecting, where a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2. So what is a1 by a2? 3, and this is 2. 3 by 2 should not be equal to, what is b1 by b2? 2k and 5. 2k, 5. So if I move 5 and to the other side, I will get 15 by 4 is not equal to k, or k not equal to 15 by 4. K has to be not equal to 15 by 4. Okay, so this is one more question, but the concept is important because this type of question will definitely cut for 2 marks or 3 marks also. Okay, intersecting, parallel and coincident. Now let's move to the 4th chapter questions. So first we have an MCQ. Which of the following is not a quadratic? Okay, so before that, so what is quadratic? Highest power of x should be equal to 2. This is very important. To mention any equation is a quadratic equation, what is the condition? Highest power of x should be equal to 2. Why? Because for highest power of 1, then we call it as linear equation. If the highest power of x is 3, then we call it as cubic. If there is no x or x power 0 if I say, then I call it as constant. Okay, but here it is quadratic equation, so definitely the highest power of x should be equal to 2. Okay, let's see one by one and see which equation is not a quadratic, like which equation is not having the highest power as 2. Okay, so for this equation, if I expand it, I will definitely get highest power of 2. By seeing itself, you can understand it is a plus b whole square. Definitely x square term will be there here, and here it is x, so definitely x square term will be there in this equation. But still, for others we have dot. For those I am explaining here. A square plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 2x plus 3. So if I move everything to the left side, I will get x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is a quadratic equation. So this is not a quadratic equation they mentioned. So this is a quadratic equation. So this is not the option which I have to take. Second one, x square plus 3x, and here also x square term is there. So definitely x square term will be there for this option also. I'll explain here. X square plus 3x is equal to minus 1 into 1 minus 3x whole square. So it is 1 plus a square plus b square plus 2ab if I want to do. Okay, it is minus 2ab equals minus 6. It is minus 6x. If I move everything to the left side, I'll get x plus 9x square, which is 10x square. 3x minus 6x minus 3x minus 1, sorry, plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is also quadratic because the highest power of x here also 2. What about C? X cube is there, but here also x cube will be there, so both the x cubes will get cancelled out. Here just remaining will be highest power will be x square. So this is also wrong, so answer should be D, but still I will just verify and show you why it is not C. X cube minus x square plus 2x plus 1. A plus b whole cube is a cube plus b cube plus 3ab into a plus b, which is 3x into x plus 1. So here x cube and x cube will cancel out. If I move everything to the left side, I will get the highest power as 2 because 3x into x is also x square. Okay, so this is also belongs to quadratic equation, hence this is also wrong. The last one, if you notice, it will be x square term here, and here also one x square term is there, so both the x squares will get cancelled out, so it will be a linear equation. Hence the option is D. Okay, so I'm just writing the first terms here. X square, here the x square is there, so these two will get cancelled out. Remaining will be 2x plus x 3x, and plus 2 will be there, and here 2x plus 3, so somewhere you'll get x minus 1 something kind of equation. Okay, so hence the fourth option is not linear, or not, sorry, fourth option is linear, which is not a quadratic equation. Okay, so then we have one 5 marks question from quadratic equation. So from quadratic equation, in this sample paper we have around 6 marks weightage. Okay, so most of the papers you can find from each chapter it will be at least 4 marks, and maximum can be 8 marks also. Okay, so that's why you should not skip any chapter, because every chapter is important if you want to score 100 out of 100, sorry, 8 out of 80. Okay, I mean out of out, if you want to score, definitely you should learn or you should study each and every chapter. You should not skip any concept. Okay, if you skip it, then definitely you'll lose 1 or 2 marks, or at least 3 marks also you can lose. So that's why don't skip any chapter, practice all the chapters and be confident about each concept. Okay, let's solve this question. A train travels at a certain average speed of a distance for a distance 63 kilometers, and then travels at a distance of 72 kilometers at an average speed of 6 kilometers more than its original. Okay, this is important, more than its original speed. If it takes 3 hours to complete the total journey, total time we know 3 hours, what is the original average speed? Okay, so first of all we need to remember one formula for speed. The formula is distance by time. This is a physics concept, but still this is a general which everyone has to learn, so that's why I have included this type of case studies in our math syllabus. So speed is equal to distance by time. We are using to use this simple formula here, and then we need to get, we'll get the quadratic equation, and then we'll solve it and get the exact speed value. Okay, so for the case 1, okay, I'll divide two types. The first one, and then travel. So we have two things. First distance, as a train travels at a certain speed for a distance of 63 kilometers at, okay, and then travels at a distance of 72 kilometers at an average speed of 6 kilometers more than original speed. Okay, so let's assume that original speed here is x and this is 6 kilometers more than the previous, so it will be 6 plus x. Okay, I'm repeating the question again. Train travels at a certain average speed, we don't know the speed, let's assume it as x, distance of 63 kilometers, and then travels a distance of 72 kilometers at an average speed of 6 kilometers more than original I'm considering it as x, so it will be 6 plus x. So it take total time of 3 hours. So from both the times, if I say, let's assume here it is t1, then here it will be 3 minus t1. Okay, so this is distance, this is speed, and this is time, whereas here this is distance, this is speed, and this is time. Okay, so for this type of question you have to make sure to write it properly. Then from here, if you write properly, definitely you can solve this question without any errors. Okay, so definitely this step also carries 1 mark in your exam paper. So here speed x is equal to distance 63 and the time is t, and here the speed is 6 plus x, distance is 72, and the time is 3 minus t. Okay, so these are the equations. This is 1 and this is 2. But what they are asking, time or distance? Here they are asking, they are asking speed. Distance you already know. So they are asking the x value. So from here I can write t value as 63 by x. Okay, now I'll substitute this t value as 63 by x in the second equation because I want x value. So I will write 6 plus x is equal to 72 by 3 minus 63 by x. Okay, so if I cross multiply, okay, before that let me give a small easy step. So I can take 3 as common in the denominator. I will get 1 minus 21 by x. Okay, so 3 ones, 3 2s are 6, 3 4s are 12. Now it is little reduced, so 6 plus 6 is equal to 24 by 1 minus 21 by x. Okay, now let's cross multiply. 6 plus x into 1 minus 21 by x is equal to 24. So if I do multiplication, I will get 6 plus x minus 6 1 is 6, 6 2 is 12, 126 by x minus 21 is equal to 24. So let's move every number to the right side. It will be x minus 126 by x is equal to 6 minus 21 is minus 15, minus 15 it goes to the other side, it becomes plus 15. So it is 24 plus 15. So x minus 126 by x is equal to 39. So this, if I take LCM, I'll get the next step as x square minus 126, and if I move x to the other side, I'll get minus 39x. So simply I'm getting x square minus 39x minus 126 is equal to 0 is the quadratic equation which we need to solve. Okay, so to solve any quadratic equation we have two methods. Either you can use prime factorization method or quadratic equation method. So I'm going to use prime factorization method for this question because it's not squares or roots are not mentioned. So if it is direct numbers, I always suggest you to use prime factorization method unless they ask you to use quadratic equation formula. Okay, so for that case I'm also giving the quadratic equation formula. The formula is minus b plus or minus root of b square minus 4ac by 2. If they ask you using quadratic equation formula, you have to use this formula. Okay, for this I'm using prime factorization method. The factors of 126 I'll write it here. I can write it as 2 into 63, 3 into 3 4 is 12, 3 2 is 6, 4 will not happen, 5 will not happen, 6, 6 2 is 12, 6 1 is 6, and so on. Okay, but here itself, if you notice, 342 is enough to get 39. So it will be x square minus 42x plus 3x minus 126 is equal to 0. So prime factorization method is easy, just we have to see using which combination I can get the middle term. Here the middle term is 39, so using 3 and 42 I can get the middle term by minus 42 plus 3. Okay, so if I take x as common, I'll get x minus 42, and that trick I told you in yesterday's video also, same, just write this number first again. Now see which you have to multiply to get this term. It is just plus 3, so I will get plus 3. Okay, so we got two values which are x plus 3 into x minus 42 is equal to 0. So the speed values I got it as minus 3 comma 42. Speed cannot be negative, so the only option is 42 kilometers per hour. Therefore you have to say speed, actual speed is 42 kilometers per hour. Speed is always measured in kilometers per hour, that is distance by time unit. Okay, so in this way the questions of quadratic equations have been solved. In the next video we are going to, I will explain you details regarding the chapter 5 video, which is arithmetic progression. Okay, thanks for watching. If you have any doubts regarding this video or any other video, and for maths class 10 you can mention doubts in the comment section or directly in community or post section. So but this I have mentioned, this is only for subscribers. If you want to get any doubts clarified, you can check, you can subscribe my channel, you can post it your doubt, and if you get it verified you can keep it, or else it's up to your choice. Okay, in the next video, as I mentioned, I'll discuss about arithmetic progression. Thank you.